Oh,
Gerd.
GERD.
I don't know why I always want to growl when I say that. Gerd.
GERD is fun also. The reason I actually came up with this one because I experienced it with a chart that I was working on here recently, and it threw me for a minute, and I thought, oh, I've never ever had a problem with that, where I had to think GERD is 530.81. You just always assume that. But the doctor had actually pre-populated the diagnosis. He wrote GERD 530.11. And so I went and looked it up and I thought, oh, wow, 530.81 is esophageal reflux, which is Gerd Gastroesophageal Reflex Disease. 530.11 is reflux esophagitis. And so then I thought, well, let's go look them both up as if you're having to look as if you didn't know what they were. So if we go into the answer, um, and when I saw this, I thought, I can't be the only one that stumbled over this. This has got to be one of those basic questions that when people are learning to code, where the terminology really plays a major role in what you're looking for. Okay, so these codes, now they get confusing. So what you need to be aware of, and especially, like I said, if your doctor pre-populates your encounter or they're using those encounter forms and they, diagnose GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, how do you look up this diagnosis in the index? So the first thing you would do is when you're looking up this diagnosis, you're going to look up reflux because that's what the person has. They have reflux. Where do they have the reflux? It's in the esophagus. Okay, so that's your 530.81. That's where the index is going to take you, and you go to the tabular and you'll find that. Now, when you look in the tabular, though, when you look under 530.8, the title is going to say Other Specified Disorders of the Esophagus. Okay, and so you're thinking, well, okay, it's not going to say GERD, by the way. That's an abbreviation. So then you see 530.81 equals esophageal reflux, okay, or gastroesophageal reflux, okay. But like I said, it's not going to say GERD. You just have to know that's what it stands for. So gastroesophagitis is actually different. It also has reflux, but it's an inflammation. The key there is the suffix of itis. And if you remember your terminology, itis means inflammation. Okay, so to be able to use the the 0.11, you have to have inflammation documented. Okay, so if he says esophagitis or he gives other indication that there is an inflammation, you can use the 530.11. And actually, what triggered it for me was when I used the find a code and I typed in the 530.11, and the additional note popped up and stated that inflammation has to be documented. Okay, so here's an example. This is almost exactly like what I remember the report to show. So your patient has, oh, well, I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, there we go. Okay, patient was seen today with what she stated was heartburn. Tums has given no relief. She states that tomatoes seem to increase her discomfort. Now she's getting a pressure feeling in her chest. Previous cardio workup revealed no concern, and something else has no family history of cardiac trouble. Impression. So this is where he puts his diagnosis. Sometimes they won't say diagnosis. This is his impression, and he says GERD 530.11. Okay, so some coders will just say, okay, he said 53011. That's my code. He goes on to say, the plan is what, the treatment that they're going to get. So they're going to start the patient on imopers. I can't say the word. It's an it's like Prevacid, but it's not. One every day times 30 days, and instructed to follow up in 1 month sooner if symptoms do not improve. Okay. Nowhere in that documentation does he indicate that there's inflammation. So you can't use the 530.11. That's not the right code. The right code's 530.81. That's the proper code for GERD. Just because the doctor wrote a code down, you can't use that. He's not a coder, he's a doctor. So go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. Did I think I have another example? Okay. Result for Mr. Green's EGD revealed inflammation of esophageal lining due to reflux with no ulcer or polyps noted. 530.11. That guy's got esophageal uh, gastroesophagealitis. He's inflamed. So 530.11 is the proper code. So know your terminology, know your prefixes and suffixes, because they really do play a part in what is the proper code to use. And these are the type of things that they'll get you on the exam. They'll give you a choice of 530.11 for GERD, and that is not the proper code unless inflammation is used or indicated in the documentation.
Great. Thanks, Alicia.
You're
That was
welcome.
GERD. And you didn't want to show anything on Find a Code, right?
Well, you know what? Yeah, I did. If you, okay, see, let's see. I think it's in the additional information. Click that. Where is it? It was something that it popped up and stated specifically that it had to be inflammation.
Right here.
This
This is,
inflammation is now.
was this the code?
Oh, you know what?
530.
Go to the GERD. Go to GERD 530.85. I think it must be in that one, and then it refers you back to go to point 11. That's what it was. Sorry. Oh wait, GERD is 8.1. I'm sorry. Barrett's is. I'm trying to do my top of my head.
Don't do as we
There.
do as we say.
Yes, that's right. Don't do it. See right there where it tells you? See how great Find a Code was? As soon as I popped that in, because I thought, well, no, isn't GERD 530.81? And look down there, it says, note that code 530.11 should be used if this results in inflammation of the esophagus. So if I had not seen that, I would have maybe assumed that it was okay. And that was a big heads up. That is not in your coding manuals, ladies and gentlemen.
And
That is
gentlemen.
on Find a Code. That is not, you're going
Yeah,
to have
this
to write
plain
that in on your manuals.
yeah, this plain English description has helped me quite often too, I have to say. And we'll be giving you some more info on Find a Code and how to get a discount on that. So, all right, great. Thank you.